here at Harrison College in Indianapolis, Indiana. I predominantly teach in the surgical technology program, so just wanted to talk to you a little bit about how I got into the profession and then how I'm utilizing MindTap in the classroom and how it's benefiting my students. So what inspired me to become a surgical technologist and an instructor? So I've always been fascinated by the healthcare field, even from a very young age. I always knew I wanted to do something in that scope, so something in the healthcare field. So when I graduated high school, I thought I wanted to go the nursing route. So was in the nursing program, and the more I got into it, I realized that's not what I wanted to do. I actually met a lady in the community who was a surg tech, and so she started explaining some of her job duties, and so everything that she was explaining to me, I was like, that is my dream job. That's exactly what I want to do. So I love the excitement. I love that adrenaline rush. I like the hands-on. I like to stay busy. So everything she was describing was exactly what I wanted to do. So pursued a career in the surgical technology field, become a certified surg tech, and started working at the local hospital. And so while at the local hospital, I was often preceptor for surg tech students from the local community college. So really enjoyed being a preceptor and being able to share my knowledge about procedures and little tricks of the trade and whatnot. So after I'd been in the field for several years, I thought maybe apply for a job to be an instructor. So a position came open here at Harrison College. I applied for it and got it. So I've been with Harrison for a little over 10 years now and love every aspect of it. What is your greatest success as an instructor? So I can't really pinpoint any one particular success, because really I think the biggest thing for an instructor for me is when those students walk across the stage at graduation and get their diploma. That's my success. So that's my time to celebrate. That's their time. I know that I've done my job. So all that blood, sweat, and tears that those students went through, they have completed the program successfully. Then that's my greatest success, is when I know I've done my job, they've graduated, and they hopefully go on to have a successful career in the field of surgical technology. What educational tools do you use in the classroom? So when I first started, there wasn't a ton of educational tools, online tools to use. So I was constantly creating my own tests, different hands-on activities, different simulations that I could utilize in the lab. So I tried to use a variety of things because I wanted to appeal to all the different types of learners that were in my classroom, and sometimes that can be difficult. So now, once MindTap has come out, I am able to utilize MindTap in the classroom, which has been a huge benefit to me as an instructor, and then obviously to my students. Really looking at how has MindTap made you unstoppable in the course and really for my students. So MindTap has allowed me to free up time in the classroom that normally I was spent constantly going over different steps, whereas they're able to do some of that on the front end at home. Whether it's watching a video or some type of animation that's loaded in MindTap, or they're able to complete the test online, and I'm able to utilize SpeedGrader, so I'm not having to grade the test, and so now I'm able to actually concentrate more of the hands-on versus trying to constantly lecture and re-lecture the material because they weren't comprehending it. So the simulations that are within MindTap, I have found have been very beneficial to my students, because like I said, they can see it before they come to class, and then it makes a lot more sense to them then once they come to the lab setting, and then they start doing that hands-on. The other thing is that MindTap has that has been a huge benefit to my students is the certification style questions. So in the state of Indiana, you have to be a certified surg tech in order to practice. So if these students aren't passing their certification at the end of their program, they can't practice in the state of Indiana. So it is so important that we are preparing those students in order to pass their certification exam, when they sit for it at the end of the program. So starting those certification style quizzes at the very beginning of their program, where they're starting to get used to the types of questions that the certification questions that are going to be asked, that they're going to actually see on the exam. So very similar wording, to just kind of get them in that mindset. And so especially if you have a student that is not very computer savvy, the testing, it's web-based testing. So they have to get savvy, because they're going to when they sit for their certification, it's web-based testing. So I feel like it gets some of that anxiety, some of those jitters out of the way, and helps better mentally prepare them for when they do sit down and take that certification exam. So I would say that is probably the biggest thing. It allows them more confidence going into when they go to sit for the certification, because they know how to troubleshoot something, or they've seen question scenarios that are going to be similar to the ones that are going to actually be on the certification exam. So I feel like MindTap has better prepared them for that, whereas a paper test just doesn't do that justice. So having that web-based testing has allowed them to be better prepared and get those jitters, that anxiety out before they sit for their certification exam. So I hope this feedback has helped you and get to know me a little bit better. So it was a pleasure talking with you. Thanks.